Welcome to the Bank Street Bogs Nature Preserve, the largest protected land holding of the Harwich Conservation Trust, the nonprofit Harwich Conservation Trust being the local land trust serving all of Harwich since 1988. So we're going to be moving into our 25th anniversary year in 2013. Since the founding in 1988, we've helped preserve nearly 450 acres, including this site. I'm Michael Locke, Director of the Harwich Conservation Trust. We have Ryan Mann, our Outreach and Stewardship Coordinator, who's out here more often than anybody helping to manage the site for wildlife habitat.
What an amazing site we have here. This is the Bank Street Bogs Nature Preserve, 66 acres of reclaimed cranberry bog that is now wildlife habitat with adjacent upland that supports that wildlife habitat of the wetland. There's Cold Brook that runs through it from Saquatucket Harbor on Nantucket Sound all the way up to the Grass Pond on the other side of Bank Street. And there's such a variety of wildlife and plants here that it really is just a very diverse area for our woodland and wetland creatures.
And you'll see some of those creatures winging about, some of these songbirds, and that brings us to our main topic today, which is our bird nest box monitoring program. And that was started 7 years ago by volunteers with Harwich Conservation Trust and volunteers with the Cape Cod Bird Club. They put up 44 nest boxes. Why? Because there's such a scarcity of naturally occurring nesting holes or cavities. There's such a scarcity of standing dead trees or snags where those holes occur. So we put up those nest boxes, and lo and behold, we've got American tree swallow, eastern bluebird, black-capped chickadee, tufted titmouse, and house wren, all using these nest boxes and fledging new birds every season. And these volunteers monitor these nest boxes every spring and summer. And you're
Weekly.
working with them every week.
It's really wonderful to see the enthusiasm from our volunteers from the Cape Cod Bird Club, as well as our own volunteers that help out year after year, and new ones coming on board every year. And it's been really wonderful. I'll have to say that they make us look good because they really do so much. And we really don't have to do as much because they're such a self-contained program. They're out here weekly monitoring, bi-weekly when it's really getting going, checking to make sure that our feathered friends are in good shape and progressing and cataloging that data that we see coming out year in, year out. And after they collect that data, they have been providing that data to the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, which has been able to compile data from around the Northeast and the U.S., which is really, really neat.
So not only are we tracking the nesting success of our local population, but the data can be used to form a bigger picture for some of these species, and hopefully also locally we can understand patterns over time, trends, especially in relation to climate change and other factors that are influencing nesting behavior. But let's take a closer look as to what happens out here in our nest box monitoring program.
Hi, my name is Kelly Satman, and I'm a volunteer for Harwich Conservation Trust and the Bird Club in Cape Cod. And this is...
My name is Taylor Mills, and I'm also a volunteer.
And we go around once a week during the early part of the season. Taylor's been out here repairing boxes and seeing what needs to be fixed before the birds come and start putting nests in. And now we have a few nests, so we're walking around and monitoring our boxes to make sure that predators aren't getting to them or that there's any problem with them, and also to document the numbers and birds that are nesting in our boxes.
We have some damage that occurs every year with the environmental damage, wind and weather and so forth, and the boxes do need to be maintained to keep the structural integrity so that the birds are glad to use them. That wouldn't work if the boxes weren't a warm and receptive place for the birds to use.
Harwich Conservation Trust monitors 3 different areas. The Bank Street Bog has 44 boxes, but total we have 80 boxes that we're watching in town. We get volunteers from Harwich, but we also have towns of Yarmouth, Chatham, and Orleans that also provide us with some volunteers to help with this. Cavity nesting birds that we're looking at need an old dead tree, which we don't have very many of anymore, so we've provided them these boxes to try to help them along. So what people can do at home is leave an old dead tree up. It's more helpful for the birds than a live tree.
I think what you see is going on here is proactive wildlife management. And unfortunately, we have inextricably changed the environment because of our presence here and our growing presence in the natural world. And if we don't take action to provide somewhat natural-like nesting environments, we'll lose these birds and all the joy and the vitality they bring. You look at these swallows flying and their acrobatics, and what a tragedy were we to miss that. And the opportunity to help them is certainly one that we enjoy helping them.
We're going to go look at some boxes now.
Yep.
You're looking at a bluebird nest. This one is about halfway completed. They sometimes will start a nest and then decide they like a different area, but they still like to claim the real estate first.
Macro. That's a bluebird.
This is an eastern bluebird egg. They usually lay eggs until they get about 5 in a clutch, so this one's not complete. And then the female sits on them, so they all hatch at about the same time. Add a decorative feather to their nest so we know the difference. So today we're just at the beginning of the season, but as a couple months roll on, we'll have all these boxes filled with potential nesting birds. And if you guys want to come back, we can take a picture and show you some of the nestlings as they're getting older, especially if we have a day that's warm and not windy. We have to be real particular about what days we open these boxes and bother these birds.
I just want to remind everybody that our volunteers have gotten a lot of training and have spent a lot of time learning particulars about the nest box monitoring program. We really do not want anybody to go near the boxes and disturb the birds that are in there nesting and laying their eggs. So please be respectful of those boxes. You're more than welcome to come to Bank Street Bogs and enjoy the aerial displays that these magnificent creatures are displaying, but please, if you wouldn't mind, stay away from the boxes. Thank you.
That's a good point, Ryan. That's a really good point with the monitoring work that's going on and the giving the birds space and enough distance so that they can continue their nesting cycle undisturbed. That's good. Good point. Open dawn to dusk. These trails are free for you to walk about and enjoy them. Bring your binoculars. Bring your bird field guides and enjoy these trails. Easy walking. You can access this trail area right from the Harbor Masters Workshop parking lot at number 203 Bank Street. And you can find trail maps to this site and 8 other conservation destinations around Harwich at our website, harwichconservationtrust.org. And if the web isn't your thing, give us a call. We'll mail you a trail guide. 508-432-3997 is our phone number. And thank you for visiting.